People often ask, who am I? How did I get here? How did you get to the position that you're in? My name is Terri and I am the founder of Putting Health at the Top. I'm an Elite Black 3, Platinum 2. It sounds nothing to you. It absolutely sounds absolutely nothing to a stranger. But to someone in my industry or to someone that knows a little bit about my life, they're all asking, how did you do it? What do you do? What made you different? How did you get to the top? So today I wanted to do this little video just to share my life, to share a little bit about me, a little bit about my insight, a little bit about who I am and why I decided to grow, why I decided to change my life. I was broken. I was so broken. I had had such a big tragedy in my life that I just didn't know how to even stand up. I decided to eat. I didn't care. I gave up living. I didn't care. I didn't care about me anymore. I moved on to a horse farm and the horses were sad. They had been neglected. There were 69 of them, just eating and wild. I moved to this farm by accident. You know, I always say the universe is at play. And these horses were wild. They just needed some loving. I was there by myself and I didn't know anything about horses. I didn't even know how to put a halter on. I had to ask the vet one day. I felt like such an idiot. But why was I there? I guess I was there because I needed to heal. I needed to heal and I needed to feel a place where I could just fix me a little bit, have some space, have some time, just to do nothing, to shut my brain down and to just think about horses. Slowly, 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 the horses changed. And so did I. So did I. My sister was getting married and I was like sitting at 84 kilos. I'd been drinking buckets of cordial, Coke, lollies. I'd been doing it all wrong. And a woman came in to meet me. Her name was Carmel Nimarita. This woman arrived in my feed shed. Can you imagine it? I'm sitting there in work boots, a blue singlet, shorts, and drinking a scotch. I'd been tired. I was so tired. I'd been up foaling horses for 3 weeks straight. And this woman walked in, stockings, high heel shoes, pearls, blonde hair, and a little dilly handbag. She didn't fit into my feed shed, not at all. But she sat there and she told me about a weight loss program, how that I could lose some weight and I would start to change my life. Being the argumentative and mistrusting soul that I was like, I can't do this program if, I get headaches. You must make sure that I don't get headaches. She said, I promise you, you won't get headaches. You promise you'll be okay. Okay. So the first morning, I had another friend that was living on the farm at this stage with me, and she got up and she made this stuff, this absolute stuff, and she brought it into me into the foaling shed. And she said, good morning, you have to drink this. And I was like, I opened my one eye and I looked at it and it was this brown muck in a cup. And I said to her, I'm not drinking that shit. So I said, it looks like goop. Well, there's the story. There's the beginning of goop. I've continued to drink this goop for a good 3 to 4 weeks and I'd lost 17 kilos. I was so happy. And suddenly I started to feel like I was human. I became the person that I always had known was inside, but I'd lost her. I had energy. I started to think differently. I was clear. My cognitive skills were on point and I started to strut my stuff. The electrician came to the farm one day and he was on one side of the fence and I had to walk across a paddock. And as I walked towards him, he just looked at me and he said to me, how did you get from beautiful to sexy in 3 weeks? I was like, that's so cool. Man, that was the change. That was the highlight, and those words that were spoken to me have stayed with me for the rest of my life. That was the beginning of my change. I'd been on this farm for weeks and weeks and weeks and not seen a man or not seen anyone that had given me a compliment. And probably I haven't had a compliment in years. But that one compliment was the one thing that made a difference. He just spoke. He never knew that that was going to be the thing that changed my life forever. He then said to me, hey, could you share that with my wife? I said, of course, no problem. That was the beginning. That was the beginning of the business. That was the very essence of how did this business start? By sharing it with one person, by talking it to one person, by giving your information to one person. That was the beginning of putting health at the top. From there we started to grow a little bit, and I started to do a little bit here and a little bit there, and I was sending all of my customers to Carmel, and I would get her to do all the work because network marketing wasn't for me. I wasn't going to be a network marketer. I wasn't going to make someone else rich. That was just something that, but I'll play with this little thing. I earned a check for $36. That was my very first check. And then my next check came in and it was $66. I thought, $66. Now, I don't know whether I told you, but I didn't have any money. I was working on this farm with no money. And by the time I'd paid Carmel, I had $10 left in my bank. Not a lot. And the guy that I was working for, he didn't pay me very often. So it was struggle time, big struggle time. And I never went on social welfare or anything like that. I was just trying to do my thing. So when I got the check for $66, and I hadn't done a lot of work, I'd just given Carmel some names. I was like, oh, it's okay. I can do that. The next check came in at $88, $68. I was just floating around here. Then I got a check for $447. Now, I own an old boat, and this old boat used to cost me $440 a month to pen it. So I was like, wow, that pays my pen rent. I don't have to worry, that's my only debt, and that pays my pen rent. I'm debt-free. How cool, I'm debt-free. And all I have to do is share my few friends to my other friend. Sounds pretty simple to me. My next check came along and it was $660. Wow, that was more money than I'd seen in a lifetime. And then the next check came in and Carmel rang me up and she said, you need to put in your 150 points. And I said, oh, I don't have it. She said, Terri, just put the $150 in and you will get a check this month. I said, Carmel, just forget the check. I don't have $150 to put in, so just forget it. She said, oh, I'll put it in for you. She did. And with that, I got a check for $880. It was Christmas time. Can you imagine when you don't have any money? What does $880 do to you? Oh gosh, I was so grateful, so grateful. And it taught me so many lessons about how I was going to build a team in the future. From that, the business started to flow a little bit, flow a little bit, flow a bit. And I had a team that was in the northwest of Western Australia. They were a Maori team and they were trying to find their feet too. And they were looking for a name for their business. They sat around a table and they prayed. And they prayed for a name to come through. The name that came through was putting health at the top. The acronym is FAT. So they rang me up and they said, Terri, we've got a name for our team. And I heard it and I went, that's a really cool name. Can I use it? They went, sure, you use it. Do you know, I always say that I am not the person that has the brains to do everything, but I am the channel. I've always believed that I've been the channel, that greatness has come through me to you. It's never about me. It was always about what came through. We put the name in place and it became like an umbrella. Again, I went to sleep one night and I woke up to this dream. There were three men standing in a doorway and they were talking about you need to put an umbrella over your business. You need to make sure it's safe. You need to make sure it's yours. So we did that. We put this umbrella over our business and from that point on, Putting Health at the Top became an entity of its own. Sam Long joined our business and she was so great that I married her. She was a geophysicist and she became my lifeline. She became my shit shield. She became everything that I needed. You know, I'm not very good at dotting I's and crossing T's. That's not my forte. My forte is the big picture. My forte is the marketing. My forte is the vision. But Sam was great at all the back end stuff. Sam was great at speaking. Sam was great at science. Sam was great at logic. Sam was great at statistics. Sam was great at all of the things that I was crap at. So we made a perfect union, the yin and the yang. There's a big age difference between us. So she's so much faster at things than me. She's so much greater at things than me. But we complement each other in such a different way. From here, our business decided to grow. And we brought in people, and we brought in different cultures, and we brought in different states, and we brought in different countries. And here the business started to just take off. I have a really good lateral thinking brain. And the thing about my lateral thinking brain is that I don't see things the way other people see things. And I don't hear things the way other people hear. So when someone says something to me, I've already got the plan, or I've already got the idea, or I'm already running over here, especially because I have a marketing brain. So I've already twisted it upside down, inside out, and put it into a pocket. One of the coolest things that I did was learn how to make money. And I learned how to build a business and make money. From a woman that didn't have any money, that was pretty cool. So when I learned how to make money, I had this idea. And I've always been about women empowerment. I've always been about wanting to change another woman's life. But how could I do it? So I had this thought that if I flipped the idea of network marketing, if I flipped it and I turned it on its head, I could then empower women to earn an income. That they could earn an income and then they could change their lives forever. Change their lives, change their families' lives, change their grandchildren's lives. That was my idea. So all I had to do was take my idea of how to make money and then drive it. How was I going to drive it? Where was I going to drive it? What I wanted to do was find women like me. I was broken. I was absolutely broken. So my easiest option was to find women that were broken because I was relatable. That was my tribe. Women that had nothing and I could give them something was my tribe. So what I did was wanted to learn how to get to the top the quickest and the fastest way possible with the least amount of people. By doing that, I learned how to build a compensation plan. I learned how to make money, and all I had to do was find people that would want to grow. I started with the first person and I looked at the Aboriginal community. That one woman was my very first woman, and we changed her life forever. She had children that had never had push bikes, had never had Christmases, they'd never had a home, they'd never had lounge rooms, they never had all the basics. And yet now this woman could have everything. She had choice in her life. Health, wealth, and choice became my motto. What could I do for you? What could I do to change your life? What could I do to make a difference? It became everything to me. It became that laser focus. I became laser focused on just that one drive. I was going to the top. I was going to get there and I was going to bring my tribe with me. Women that had nothing, women that had never had a voice, women that had been put down, women that had been laughed at, women that had needed to have change in their lives. This was my tribe. I was bringing them to the top. Today, my women are at the top. Today, my women are all around the globe, talking and sharing and taking the same legacy around the globe. Today, it's a very different business because of culture, because they have taken the idea and they have now developed it. Leaders have become leaders and have developed their own strategies. But they all come back to the one philosophy: to make a difference, to give choice to another woman, to breed and empower a woman so that she is strong enough to own her name. I am. It's the most powerful words that you'll ever have in your soul. I am Terri McClure. I am standing here. I am a leader of my tribe, and I am going to make a difference. If you looked at your legacy and you looked at your life and you said to yourself, I wonder what I'm going to do. I wonder who I'm going to be. Or I wonder what I'm going to do when I grow up. When you can look at your life and you can say, I just changed one person's life, then you've done a good job. When you can look at your life and you can say, I've changed thousands of lives, then you've left a legacy. Look for your legacy. Look for your story. Look from where you come from. Look from where you begin and find your reason why you are on this earth. Find your place. Everyone has a place. You just have to find it. It doesn't come without hard work, and it doesn't come without focus. Consistency, focus, drive your business, and that gut passion that you'll get there. You too can be a superstar. You too can be worthy of your name. You too can make a difference.